state.
All right.
By anybody, you know.
All right.
And he should be allowed to govern the state. And if nobody is allowing him to do it, he should stand up. He's a man.
Okay. Our man enough is the governor is one question that a lot of people are asking, and because again the governor himself has said that look, there's no price that is too much to pay for peace. Well, what kind of price?
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
He's in a very vulnerable situation now. You know why?
Why?
Because right now there's a lot of sympathy for him. Now, if he cuts a deal and they come against him again, he would have lost all the support from the people who are defending him now. So it is better for him to stand up now. Even if he goes down fighting, he would have made a statement. You know,
I'm with you.
We have to stop this. We have to stop this nonsense in our country. No, the ultimate power brokers in the democracy are the people, not some few individuals. And loyalty in the democratic system is to the constitution and to the people. Not some powerful elites who became powerful because they appropriated the resources of the state to themselves. All right. Someone told me, oh, you know how we can use money and all that. And I asked him, did the money that Wike used to bring Fubara to power, did he harvest that money from his personal farm? Is it not River State government money?
All right, Barrister Curtis, I was looking at one of your posts on Facebook where you asked this very funny question that look, if two people had agreed to rob a bank and then the other person declined and said no, I'm no longer going with this agreement or this arrangement, would you force the other person to still go ahead because agreement is agreement? Well, I don't want us to overdwell on this issue. I think your thoughts are very clear.
You know why I wrote that? That was in response to a friend and I met on a different channel.
Yes.
Who said that we should abandon the legal argument, we should abandon the law, and look at what happened between the parties. That agreement is an agreement. And I said, look, if we plan to rob a bank, for instance, okay?
Yes.
And just few minutes before that time, I get to the front of the bank. And somehow
you change your mind.
There's a light bulb moment in my mind, and I said, this is wrong, I can't do this, you understand?
Yeah.
I have to do this right. Are you then saying because we had agreed, I must go and rob the bank with you? Because agreement is agreement. What are we teaching our children?
All right, Barrister Curtis, let's move to the next issue, and that we'll do within 5 minutes. There's an article in circulation, and it's a position of the special advisor on information and strategy to the president, Mr. Bayo Onanuga. He has been in the news. He's been talking, of course, doing his job, and he's saying that look. Of course, the article is titled "The Many Silver Linings of Tinubu's 7 months in Office." Like I said, it's published in the Guardian newspaper of today. Let me just read a part of it, and I'll allow you to just bear your thoughts on it within 3-4 minutes. And he's saying the removal of subsidy and the move to merge foreign exchange rates, 2 headline reforms introduced by the Tinubu administration since late May, triggered problems such as high fuel prices and the depreciation of the naira, 2 monstrosities which combined to cause a general spike in cost of services and goods. Today, many Nigerians complain of a rise in the cost of living. According to the latest MBS report, Nigeria's inflation, which rose to 26.7% in September, again rose to 28.2% in November from 27.33% in October. Further inflation remains untamed, rising from food inflation, remained untamed, rising from 31.52% in October to 32.84% in November 2023. To compound the economic problems, few multinational companies such as GlaxoSmithKline and Procter & Gamble have announced their exit from our country, complaining about the difficult operating environment and the scarcity of the dollar. Here, highlighting what the issues are. Now, this is his position. He says the truth is that the new policies alone, I want you to pay attention to what he's saying here. The truth is that the new policies alone are not solely responsible for the economic problems we are facing today. And I'm quoting him now. We are destined for the tough and rough patch where we are today because of the prevailing economic conditions before Tinubu took over on May 29. So again, let me just put some emphasis. He has highlighted what the problems are and all of that, and I acknowledge the fact that, look, these reforms indeed are of course some untold hardship. But what he's saying is that, look, the truth is that the new policies alone are not solely responsible for the economic problems we are facing today. We are destined for the tough and rough patch where we are today because of the prevailing conditions before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over on May 29. Of course, he talked about the budget deficit of 10.8 trillion before Tinubu took over, the actual debt to servicing of about 98% to revenue, depleted foreign reserves, and that, look, even during the campaigns, the president had promised that he was going to be taking hard and painful decisions, and that in recent time, even the IMF, the World Bank, and rating agencies, global rating agencies like Moody and Fitch, have been praising the president, even though the president is not boasting about all of these high ratings by global financial institutions. So he said, look, the president is working, and that indeed there are lights at the end of the tunnel. What do you make of this statement? Just in 3-4 minutes, Vice Curtis, so I'll allow you to go.
So first and foremost, I think Bayo Onanuga suffers from selective amnesia. Two, he approbates and reprobates at the same time. And then three, he has a reputation for egregious misinformation, and very provocative statements. Now, let's look at what he said. He said the current economic realities are not due to the policies of the new government, right?
Yes.
And I want to remind him what was the inflation rate before his boss took over. What was the rate of the dollar to the naira before his boss took over?
He said we are destined for all of those things that we were destined for.
There is no destination to anything. It's poor economic management. He said his boss promised to merge the foreign exchange rate. Is 7 months not enough to merge them? Has he merged them now?
We still have to raise, even though the official thing is that we
still have 2 rates and people are still profiting from the differentials.
Of course,
so
yes.
What is he talking about? Okay? So, look, were these factors not known to them before they fought so hard to win the election? Can anybody actually argue that he was an outsider in the government? Now, the unfortunate thing is that this has become a normal trajectory for every government we have in Nigeria. Don't forget that in 2015 when Buhari came in, it was all blame, the blame game against Jonathan, the wreck the economy. And it took him 6 months or so to appoint ministers, all right? There was no physical monetary policy on ground. The naira just floated on its own, and of course, the naira lost so much value against the dollars there before the government moved in and tried to cushion the effect, right? Now, in this case, right from the one, even before he took over powerfully, the first statement he made was that he had removed subsidy. I knew that Nigeria is a mono economy. There was nothing in place to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. At the same moment, we floated the naira or the dollars, knowing that our fuel importation depends also on the dollars. So what are they talking about? Look, for all I care, all the rating agencies can give him the highest marks and praises. But you know what? The reality is the living conditions of Nigerians. They can talk about the GDP growth of 15 per minute. The reality check is in the living conditions of Nigerians. Why am I not holding him completely responsible for the economic situation in the country? But we must understand that he has been a major actor in the last 20 years plus. I'm happy that it's APC blaming another APC government.
Can we accept that as a people? Or should we accept that as a people?
But I will tell you something. This is not new with this president. Don't forget that when he became the governor of Lagos in 1999, he used more than 6 months to blame his predecessor, Maru, at that time. Until the Lagosians told him, get on with the job. You applied for the job, now you have to do it. He can do the job, okay?
Yeah.
I know President Bola Tinubu has the capacity to do the job. He should stop complaining and focus on the job.
All right.
He is not doing himself any good by saying, I'm not to be blamed for this. Listen, you are now the president. We were not destined to go down. Why did you become president? It's because you said you could change the direction of things for us. You have the job, do the job, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Curtis. I said it was going to be 30 minutes, and I think we've had a very brilliant conversation, lumping everything into 20 minutes. So thank you so much for finding time to join us this evening on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And please enjoy your holiday.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, that's the mod that we can take for now from Barrister Curtis Adigba. We'll move, like I said, it's just going to be 30 minutes. We have another guest that will be joining us via the phone line. Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾𝐝 will be joining us as we look at the recent, of course, announcement by the federal government that the Port Harcourt refinery, what has been called the mechanical works on the Port Harcourt refinery, has now been completed. And of course, there'll be celebrations, especially from supporters of the government who have said that, look, this is the first time in so many years that we're making a remarkable achievement as far as the turnaround maintenance or a complete overhaul of the refinery is concerned. Let me announce that we're streaming the show live. Yes, we're streaming the show live on Facebook and YouTube. And you can, of course, drop your comments and contributions on our Facebook platform at Mainland 98.3 FM. Also, our YouTube platform at Mainland 98.3 FM. So we're streaming the show live. You can join the show via Facebook and YouTube. Like I said, we're going to move to the next issue for this evening on the roundtable, and we're looking at the issue of the Port Harcourt refinery. There are experts. There's also an article published by the Leadership newspaper on whether indeed the Port Harcourt refinery has been completed, whether there's anything to celebrate. Do we still have a long way ahead of the completion of the Port Harcourt refinery? There have been several reports. There have been experts who have also said, look, tread with caution. I think last week on the show we had Adeola Yusuf, who has a countdown on Platforms Africa as to the timeline given by the federal government for the completion of the Port Harcourt refinery. But again, that announcement came this week on Wednesday, and there have been conversations around it. Truly, can we start to celebrate? Are there really prospect that indeed the Port Harcourt refinery has gotten to a point where we should say, okay, yes, it has now finally happened? Like I've said, the NNPC said it has completed mechanical phase of the Port Harcourt refineries operations, and that indeed operations will begin after Christmas. Christmas is tomorrow. The NNPC Limited said it has completed the mechanical phase of the turnaround maintenance at the Port Harcourt refinery, and that as we look into the next phase of that refinery just after Christmas, or maybe early next year, we should have the refinery start working again. But like I said, the Leadership newspaper, we're trying to get Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾𝐝 on the line to join us. Like I said, he's an energy expert and someone who understands the oil and gas sector. He joined Mobil Oil Nigeria in 1988. In 2005, he was appointed the manager public and government affairs, a position he held until he voluntarily retired in November 2016. He has also attended numerous training programs, including ExxonMobil Enterprise Leadership Program of the Kenan Flagler Business School in Paris, France. So, all right, I think we have Mr. Aki on the line already with us. Good evening, Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾𝐝.
Great pleasure, Said, to be with you. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, you're having your first showing on our show, Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM, and I'm really excited to have you.
I'm equally excited, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, of course, I'm sure you got the announcement by the federal government that, of course, the mechanical phase of the Port Harcourt refinery, what they call the first phase, has now been completed. And, of course, I think that was also celebrated with what is called a gas flare start-off. You know, we saw the videos, we saw the minister, we saw NNPC officials, and of course people have been saying that, look, this is a fantastic one. We are very close to El Dorado as far as the call for our refineries to work is concerned. Let me start by saying, what do you make of that announcement before I begin to talk about what some other experts are saying? Is there are we going to a point where we should begin to celebrate?
No.
Wow.
As an oil expert and as an accountant, as somebody who has been trained not to count, the chickens before you had the egg. The eggs, no, you don't do that. Also trained in project management. The refinery business is serious business, okay? It's not your wheel-of-the-mill kind of production cycle. So, let me quickly, before we delve in, say that even if we don't necessarily consider that all the boxes have been ticked, I will still tell you, based on my experience in this industry, that it is not yet Uhuru. It cannot be yet Uhuru, given the overall conditions of the things we are looking at. Now, first, some basic facts. The Port Harcourt private company, people call it the Area F, easily Nigeria's biggest crude refinery company when it was envisaged. When it came in 1965, so there are two. We have the old Port Harcourt refinery and then you have new Port Harcourt refinery. That's why you call it Port Harcourt 1, Port Harcourt 2. It came in 1965 when the commissioning was done, and it was about 35,000 barrels per day, and was debottlenecked in 1972 to raise it to 60 barrels per day. I also like to say that Nigeria was working well in relative terms. Nigeria was working where we had proper project management, where you go from small to great, to greater at a particular point in time. That's the area F, area 5, excuse me, that talking about the Port Harcourt refinery. Moved on in this country to about 210 barrels per day. And how did that happen? It commingled the old refinery that was working on old technology and had just one converter, or what to call the catalytic unit, and could only produce at best of best maybe 15, maybe 60, maybe 20% of the installed capacity. And the technocrats at that time now then said, hey, wait a minute, why do I continue to go when I can steal technology, go to higher levels and shift the paradigm? And so they put them together to then come into that area F, and they were producing to the extent that by 1991, I was in network Google at that time, by 1991, by 1992, two things were happening. We were producing more than full capacity to the extent that we were exporting, because that refinery also had a jet that they used to import. But all that story now just stopped from 2019 when the Nigerian Abakara Dabra now started in the sense that corruption, incapacity, political interference now got into it. As I speak, what you are calling Uhuru, I'm also careful. When you have people who are doing work and stuff like that, you don't want to discourage them, but you have to tell ourselves that's true. I think, in my considered opinion, there was a rush meet a presidential directive that promised that this was going to happen in October and then shifted to December.
And so December does happen.
We are not ready. It's okay. I mean, you got into field of play, okay? I mean, a track, and suddenly you had a muzzle pool. Yeah, that you still stay there, that you still want to do something. We commend you, but you cannot win a medal. We cannot be talking about winning a medal. And so we now get into this mechanical completion, player completion. A lot is being done. However, what is being done is, in my honest opinion, I haven't been there, is a reverse velocity. Reverse velocity, because we went and decided with our eyes wide open with $1.5 billion in 2021 to start an old refinery that ordinarily will produce less. Okay, if you say it's rehabilitation, I don't know, but even if you decide to say that you are going to rebuild, you decide to put a Rolls Royce engine in a B2 car that has no extra tire. What are you going to get? You just be doing motion without movement, so to speak. I think what has happened is that we just wanted to celebrate Christmas and we wanted a bit of,
to excite Nigerians, just get us excited.
Allegedly, I mean, I don't know, but I suspect from what I am reading that we imported LPG to feed into the bottom of the flare to
just fire up, just to flare start
to light up, and immediately after the thing has gone off. What are we talking about? And because we wanted to take photo opportunity. So I do not think, and nobody can, I'm not sure anybody can controvert this. They cannot, because they know they cannot. And I commend them, but that Port Harcourt refinery cannot be completed within the immediate future. Progress being done, we have put the wrong foot into the wrong path and all that kind of stuff. But here we are. The old problems that those refineries have, we have not taken care of them. We have not taken care of corruption. We have not taken care of the fact that we might be putting a carpenter to pilot a ship. He may try, but sooner than later we may just find ourselves wrecked. That is the truth. That is the honest truth. Is it discouraging? Yes, it's discouraging. Is it a waste? Yes. I mean, look at it from the procurement aspect, the shenanigans in and out, plus and minus, and all that kind of stuff. Still being operated by NMP, like the National Petrol Company. You can say that, as far as I'm concerned, it's not commercialized enough in a way that even those who have said you are now a PLC, we still don't have transparency that can give us some good comfort.
All right, Mr. Fatunke, again, of course, if I put everything you said so far together, we still have a long way to go, really, as far as the Port Harcourt refinery is concerned. But Mr. Mele Kyari, the CEO of GCU NNPCL, has not only promised this December timeline on the Port Harcourt refinery. He also said that, look, the other three refineries would also get completion dates in the year 2024. The entire, of course, 4 refineries put together has a capacity of 455,000 barrels per day. And Nigerians are like, okay, if that can happen, at least it will not maybe totally solve our problems, but of course put us on a better standing, on a better standing in terms of self-sufficiency when it comes to local refining capacity. So if you say there are serious doubts as to the completion of the Port Harcourt refinery, even the so-called mechanical completion, which you don't think are just mere semantics, do you also think that, look, whatever has been said about 2024 for the other refineries is just a mirage? It will never happen.
Yes. The what if question. Good planners talk about the what if question. Your heart can just stop beating anyway. So, but don't forget that there is a fundamental flaw in the way governance over you good morning, my brother Said, you are going to be on your own. No? If you think their good morning
is good morning
is being said at 13 Greenwich time, they may even be showing you Australia and all that kind of thing. This is the age of technology. What am I saying? The trust deficit is out. I think the government over time, maybe they have struggled even when they are trying to do something, but because they have a history of not living up to expectations, and they have a history of doing ups. They have a history of rushing to the press, for instance, for political, I call it political gain. They've lost us. When I say they've lost us, I'm not even talking about the Holo Ipoloyi. I'm not even talking about the masses who perhaps don't know. Do you know the great problem? They've lost those who are technocrats. Those who they know very well that they know what they are saying. They may not necessarily be any better if they got in there, but they know what they are saying in terms of the engineering, in terms of advice, in terms of project management, and they will hardly listen to them. Why will I, for the life of me, I pray I'm wrong, sir. I just pray I'm wrong, like J.H. said in 1983 when he said the ship of state was heading to the rocks, and he said, I pray I am wrong. It was not wrong. We have found ourselves.
Eventually, he's been proven right.
Why should I believe when on the low hanger that you have said you are going to do, and I begin to see a bit of dancing to the right, dancing to the left, making promises that cannot, that cannot be verified? Look, I said refinery business is serious business. Refinery business is not just anything that you can just put, like at one point in time, PDP government in Ekiti, and said Obasanjo wanted to come and visit, and they said the poultry is almost smelly and all that. It is very serious. You have to verify. There are project management signposts that needs to be done. You will be done what you say. For instance, whoever is the contractor, this time around, I'll be careful. I am a player in the industry. There are many things I know I will not be able to say
on radio.
And the reason why I will not be able to say it is because they may have some legal implications. Marie Technomont has been the contractor. It's an Italian
company
that did that. I'll take you back to the before, as they say in what language, when we were trying to now put some of those things in there. Shell came on, Mobile at Exxon, there's now Exxon now came on, Total Elfina came on, and they had their ways of doing things, including governance. I can tell you for free, the Port Harcourt refinery ought to have been done from the onset. I'm talking about the 210 barrels per day instead of the old one that was done. The contractor that participated in there refused to participate in this one because he felt that that's not the way to go. So if you are asking me to get into a car that has no extra tire and as you have faith that's going to get there, that will be foolish on my part to get in there. Because in the middle of nowhere, if the car stops, who do I have to blame? Of course, it's me. Why is Marie Technomont not saying anything to anybody? And I challenge you, Said.
No, some of our friends in the media have tried to reach out to Marine Technomont, the Italian company, and in the project. And for now, they've not responded.
So it's now, look, there are certain people, and we need to be very, very careful, okay? I'm careful, okay? There are certain outlets. Anything goes. This will not happen within an Exxon Mobil. It will not. It can't. It will happen within the Total Health, and everybody, with their legs. And we are saying 2024. There is something that nobody is saying now, and I'll just mention it in passing. All our own refineries that have been run down, no doubt about that, they are sitting on a bed of oil. What does that mean? It means that it's like wanting to go and build a skyscraper at Magidu. Without filing, without remediation, without doing so many other things. The technocrats know, when they hear me, I hope they do hear, they know that I know what I'm saying, and they know it. There is no need, for the sake of patriotism, for us to not offend the truth. Right kind of people in to now decide that he was going to be the petroleum minister. I think it's wrong. It's not priority, because we will not even know the technicalities. You will not know the technicalities. You will only just decide that you are going to sign or whatever it is that you have been told. Even if it is your wife, your son, or your dad that will appoint there, they will tell you perhaps what you want to hear, and at the end of the day, you find yourself that you have built, to build a castle of sand. Therefore, am I saying that there is no hope? Hope. There is hope if we decide that we want it to start with an H. There is hope if we decide that yes, we will put all our hands on deck and agree that we have made great mistakes and we begin to correct them under strict governance. Nigeria is only waiting to be unraveled, but if we continue the way we are going, not telling the truth, making ourselves happy in Christmas time just because it's Christmas, forgetting that Christmas will soon be over and reality will turn on us. We are in deep trouble. And now look at this side. This time, obviously from what I saw, and I knew equipment, but it's not go beyond 60,000 barrels. Like for what you call blowing and drying of the lines, you have to do the flushing.
Even the electrical work.
You have to do the equipment calibration. Then before you decide to introduce the hydrocarbon, you have to test air leakages. You have to test alignment. This thing I'm telling you, you don't have to be an engineer or any scientist for you to know that this is not something that you are going to do in a jiffy. It's not. I mean, you are saying that it's only the mechanical that has been completed. Yes, you put the machines around you, you put the equipment around, they are all here. Hopefully it's not going to be pilfered, while we are trying to solve some of these things. But hey, right, do you remember when we were talking about the roadmap, electric system roadmap?
Yes.
We said yes, everything was good on paper, Nigeria was going to be this and stuff like that, and we bought only for us to now decide that we to take some of those turbines and we need to take to Olorishogo, to take to Igbe. We didn't have a bridge.
I think some of the equipment even stayed at the airport for years.
Why on earth would Nigeria be like that? And I know we have technocrats who know better. In fact, the Nigerian technocrats will tell you that there are certain things that you should test for, certain things. But what we do, just rush them, put procurement there in place because a lot of things are going under the carpet. But we can stop it. The next best time now is now to stop it.
All right, Mr. Fatunke.
Appoint the right people and make sure we do things the way they should be done and tell the truth and tell people if it's bitter, it doesn't matter. If you are not able to meet up in your target, come out and let us know why you are not meeting your target.
Give good explanation,
do it slowly and steadily so that we can win the race.
All right. Again, before I allow you to go this evening, Mr. Fatunke, the Dangote refinery is also in the conversation. There's no way we're going to talk about our local refineries without talking about the Dangote refinery in Ibeju-Lekki, Lagos. Here. Before and over, former President Muhammadu Buhari, immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari, commissioned that particular refinery, And of course, you remember that, it has always been in the conversation. Oh, when Dangote refinery comes, of course, it will be so useful. It's going to come and help in the situation. In fact, the NNPCL had to even invest 20%, had to take 20% stake in Dangote refinery. Well, in December, almost 8 months since that refinery was commissioned, I think 2 weeks ago, 1 million barrels of crude oil was eventually delivered into the refinery. Another 1 million has also been delivered this week, or let's say last week. And the conversation is that, look, for that refinery to start fully, it will need at least in the minimum about 5 million barrels of crude oil. That's a refinery that has about 650,000 barrels per day capacity. So it means that for it to run fully, it must get a supply of 650,000 barrels of crude oil every day. The problem that a lot of people have identified is that, look, where will that supply come from? We are still battling with oil theft. We are battling with not meeting our quota. And so, how bad is the situation really? So that we get the conversations right.
We may be battling if we are not careful. Another the Niger Delta militant action if we don't get our politics right.
Yeah, in River State.
Right. There's a book of religion, but it's also a book of history. It's called the Bible, and I remember one of the things that was said by one of the avatars was that how many of you who want to build a house will not first of all sit down, plan, do quantity, do quality, do testing, ask the right kind of questions, and all that, and then you just launch into it like people who are trying to build a Tower of Babel. If you fail to plan,
you plan to fail.
Then you plan to fail. Pure and simple. Look at the Dangote refinery, and I might hazard a guess that when the Dangote refinery advantages, but the guy is going to be getting the goods, what you call the plant, at official market rate, so we may be having a reduction. If they could to come and start to do it here, of course. We are now saying because the guy Buhari and then now the Bola, and then we are just rushed into going to make promises that we are not going to be able to make. So even if things look beautiful, no soup in the pot. If there is no soup in the pot, why? They are not buying private jets and buying SUVs and whatever. We don't go. Let's multiply a little bit. But a situation where it's going to be possible within long term, but they see what I am, halfway. But if I'm asking you to empathize and stuff like that, and then the next that you see is that I jump into the plane and I go on cop and I take every other person there and not chuck anything around, nobody will give you the kind of trust. So, whether Dangote, whether BUA that will just come, whether something that we have not mentioned here, modular refineries, which is another lie that we are telling to ourselves. Okay, the truth is that Nigeria is in their streets. The money that we were thinking about last night has met with us, and darkness is still trying to overshadow us. I believe in the hope agenda. The hope agenda that is going to be premised on character, capacity, competence. That is the only way we can go. I must be seen to be eating once, and all the children in the house, even if they can eat twice, so be it. Not that I will be eating 4 times. Please. Nigeria is in a bad spot. We are talking of the oil and gas industry. The oil and gas industry just mentioned a couple of things there now. Still talking about oil theft. We are not meeting OPEC quota. Suddenly from nowhere, when I was in ExxonMobil, Angola that used to come to Nigeria, used to come to us to come and beg us, please teach us how we are going to do this thing. They've overtaken, okay? They've very well left OPEC now. Yeah. We are still groping. We are still talking about quite a number of things. I know that President Bola Tinubu, being a technocrat, maybe I should end with this, being a technocrat who has been in there, knows very well that many of us know that he has his onions if it is certain, and I'm happy that he has younger people around him who are looking at them. We are too expensive. We are too ostentatious. We are not giving people the right kind of hope. Take a step today. It's not a question of palliatives or no palliatives. Take a step today. But you are trying to unravel it, and that you are living by those close examples. My brother, you are going to see mad changes in this country.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾. I think pretty much you've been able to, answer my questions on, the announcement, because again, a lot of people out there, Port Harcourt refinery will come in December, and then all we heard was that, there was a gas flare to show that indeed some activities were going on. People didn't even understand what that was. Until we have now been told that some things were fed aside the original thing that should have happened, and then we are now told again that it's mechanical completion. That got a lot of Nigerians also confused. But thank you so much for finding time to be a part of the show this evening.
It's always a pleasure, but I know that the sun will shine again for Nigeria. It is possible.
Amen. I like to say amen to that. I see that as a prayer, and I like to say amen to it.
Bless you.
All right, thank you so much for finding time to join us on the show, Political Roundtable, Mainland 90. That was the voice of Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾, who is a communications consultant, an energy expert in the oil and gas sector. If you want to know, he joined Mobil Oil Nigeria as far back as 1988, and in 2005 he was appointed manager, public and government affairs, a position he held until he voluntarily retired in November 2016, and is someone who has been in the system. He even attended seminars and numerous trainings, amongst them the ExxonMobil Enterprise Leadership Program of the Kenan Flagler Business School in Paris, France. So Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾 knows what he's saying. I was hoping I was going to get Adeola Yusuf to also join us at this time. I guess he's a bit busy, but definitely I'm going to drag him into the studio, of course, to also, of course, share his thoughts on this, realizing the company running the Port Harcourt. So the Port Harcourt refinery is about 210,000 barrels per day. The old refinery has a capacity of about 60,000 barrels per day, and that is even the one we have said the mechanical work has been completed. So again, we like to set the record straight so that Nigerians can know where we are and understand the challenges that we face. Again, Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾 talked about transparency, the need for the government to speak the truth always, to be accountable to the people. Yes, a December's timeline was set. If there's any reason not to meet it, come clean and clear on it, rather than getting Nigerians excited unnecessarily. As we speak, there are no clear timelines as to when crude oil refining will start in that refinery. I also seen experts who have said that, look, if Dangote refinery is still facing serious challenge with getting crude supply, and we are still struggling to meet our OPEC quota, there's also the fact that, look, a lot of the pipelines that are supposed to feed these refineries have remained damaged, vandalized, and we've not really done a lot of repair on those pipelines. So where will this refining come from? So I think we just have to get an expert to make us understand what the position of things really is. So I think that's where I'm going to try and open the phone lines now. We've had Barrister Curtis Adigba join us via phone line from the United States of America, and basically we had a conversation as to the crisis in Rivers State. There are elders who have even gone to court to challenge the so-called presidential directive of the peace resolution, and what they are simply saying is that, look, it's unconstitutional, it's not known to the law, and it's just one-sided. It's like a wiki agenda. And in fact, they feel that, look, the independence of the Rivers State government has been eroded by the president by what had happened on Monday in Abuja, where the president signed a so-called peace agreement. Well, the governor, through his commissioner for information, has also said that, look, he is ready to pay the price for peace in Rivers State. And so that was the first conversation I had with Barrister Curtis Adigba. And then, of course, we also looked at Mr. Bayo Ononuga, who of course is saying that, look, we are destined for these tough times, and that, look, the reforms of the president are not the sole reasons why Nigerians are suffering at this time. That, look, there are a lot of things we have not done in the past, and that's the reason why we're in this precarious situation. And he's saying that, look, there have been good achievements by the president in the last 7 months. He talked about the fact that, look, of course, even global financial institutions have rated the president highly and are commending the tough choices he has been making. And indeed, this was a period for Nigerians to understand with the president and believe that indeed, hope beckons. The renewed hope agenda is still very intact. That's what Mr. Bayo Ononuga is saying. And then, of course, the third part, we had to interview Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾 on the announcement of the completion of the mechanical works on the Port Harcourt refinery. Of course, we had to do some digging deep, and what we discovered is that, look, we're talking about the old Port Harcourt refinery. The mechanical works maybe, but again, a lot still needs to be done. Some of our colleagues have also reached out to the Italian company handling that project, and nothing has really been said. And of course, if I follow what Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾 has said, the government maybe just wanted to give us something to chew on and celebrate the Christmas with. So I'm going to open the phone lines now. 09136 000 410, 09136 000 410. My name is Saheed Fuhad. This is Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. And you can just call in. Again, we have enough time. We have 1 hour to have this conversation. We're also streaming the show live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can also drop your comments and contributions on Facebook and YouTube platform at Mainland 98.3 FM. Let's take the first phone call. Hello, good evening. Yeah, good evening.
Saheed, yes.
You can call me. You can call Saheed. You can call Fuad.
All right. Sorry. Merry Christmas ahead. Happy New Year in advance.
Same to you.
I'm Coyote from Abeokuta.
All right, please go on.
I greet all your guests. Let me say this. I see this issue of crisis in Rivers State as the mode of venturing into it to resolving the issue as more of rascality than constitutionality from the angle where Mr. President was going. And I will tell you from this background, we have about 31 members instead of 32 members in this.
Yes, one is late, yeah.
Somebody was late. I think his name was Lulu or something, somebody like that, yeah. And 27 people out of these people, the PDP decided to defect to APC. And then 2 rushed back again. You remember, sir?
Yes, I'm with you.
And then, yes. And from 137, 31 before, then 27 defected. It remained 4. I will be getting.
Yes.
And then the two came back.
Yeah.
The 2 that came back supported the 6 people that went ahead, but only 4 went to decide for the that 800 billion naira worth of budget. You remember?
Yeah, with you.
Good. Now, if you look at what constitutes a quorum for that assembly, as at when they were 6, it should be 3. Are you following me?
What do you want to draw out? Because of time.
What I'm trying to draw out is that by constitution, whereas the court has said, look, leave this law of, this speaker that belongs to Fubara alone. And he has found that, look, the man has not read in law that even Fubara should not be privileged between. So
what do you think should happen now? Where we are now, what do you think should happen? What do you think should happen now with where we are now?
What I think should happen now is that Fubara should they should allow him to be. We should go and just sit down in Abuja, then continue with his work rather than to get into what is not in Rivers. Even the judges are telling you, please be careful, Mr. Wike. I think he needs to be careful. He has said so many things before now that, look, if even confiding himself, that if I so much leave APC and PDP for APC, what is he doing now? Must we compulsorily have a godfather because we wanted to rule the whole Nigeria?
As far as we know,
I will support Fubara anytime, any day.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
All right, well, as far as we know, Wike is still in PDP. He has not officially defected to the APC, even though he has been singing the APC song. Hello, good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
This is Austin.
Okay, Austin.
Compliment of the season.
Same to you, sir.
Now, how do you come today?
Abio. But I'm sure you've enjoyed the interviews by Mr. Curtis here and Mr. 𝐸𝐴𝐾. Yeah,
I like that man, the analysis, and that is the fact that we want to deceive ourselves. Then also the president, what is name that says the president meant
Mr. Bayo Nonuga, yeah.
Thank you. I think he failed his own. He failed his own. I did not say any international body giving him credit. He should go back to online and see what the international body what they are saying. So he should not come here and deceive people. So I don't know member of the APC before. So can't the president told the former president or the man that used billion to deceive the human on the airline? Can't they put the man or the feeding program that they say? Can't they go to that book and do proper auditing?
All right. Thank you so much, Justin.
Let them keep lying to themselves.
All right. 09136000410. 09136000410. I can see Adiola is trying to reach us, but we'll see whether we can, somehow get across to him. Let me just take maybe 5 minutes, to ask him one or two questions. He was in the studio last week, and he said a whole lot really about what's going on with our refineries. He has a countdown on his platforms Africa, and so let's see whether we can squeeze this call in to just make him say one or two things before we return to taking phone calls. Like I said, you can drop your comments and contributions on our Facebook platform, at Mainland 98.3 FM. We're streaming the show live. Hello, Adiola Yusuf.
Hello.
I tried reaching you earlier in the day, but I guess you've been a bit busy. But let me just take your time for maybe like 10 minutes. Adiola Yusuf, you are live on radio now.
All right.
Yeah, the government has announced, I'm sure you saw that announcement by the Minister of State for Petroleum, Oil and Gas, and of course other officials of the NNPCL and the government, that the mechanical work on the Port Harcourt refinery has now been completed. You have a countdown on your platform africa.com on this promise by the government to deliver the Port Harcourt refinery. Just before I called you into the show, I had to speak with Mr. 𝐾𝐞𝐿, who I'm sure you also know very well, on the true position of things, because there have been reports that indeed that refinery is still far from being completed, and that what had been done was just not a completion, and it was just to excite Nigerians. Do you share that sentiment?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, what the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, 𝐴𝐻𝐾, said was that the Port Harcourt refinery has been completed mechanically. And before now, what they promised is to deliver the assets,
completely.
Make sure that Nigerians start getting production from that
refinery.
Yeah, so a bit of background for our listeners to understand, to quite understand what we're talking about. Port Harcourt refinery is in two plazas. We have Port Harcourt 1 and Port Harcourt 2. Yes. Port Harcourt 1 is a 60,000 barrels per day.
The old refinery.
Yes, old refinery. And the second one, has over 120 barrels, capacity. So over the years, the Port Harcourt 1 has been abandoned due to lack of maintenance, inadequate maintenance, statutory maintenance. So what the government, and later that affected the Port Harcourt 2. So what the government is doing now, powers announced, is to make sure that there is a total overhaul of 60,000 barrels
the old refinery.
Yes. So the government promised that that refinery will be delivered by December.
That's the entire refinery, both old and new.
No, the 60,000 barrels. That is the refinery that they are doing the overhaul. Like I said at one of the programs, that refinery cannot be maintained any longer. What they needed to do is to just overhaul, to remove components, to change components, to remove totally. So that is what that refinery they are doing on that refinery, and they were able to get OEM's approval to do that overhaul of that refinery. Now the government promised December, And I believe that one should be very, very careful in a bit not to run into the trap set by the government, because most times, if one is not careful, there are political statements and there are business statements. I will explain. Political statement is when you come on board to say that you are going to deliver Port Harcourt refinery 60,000 barrels per day before December. It is a political statement for you to now say that refinery has been mechanically completed. Okay, so what that means is that
we technically defeated Boko Haram.
Oh, thank you very much. So that is what that is so that one will be very, very careful to really understand what is at stake. Now, that refinery is not about mechanical components alone. There are electrical components to that refinery. You understand? In fact, there is a powerhouse, where megawatts of electricity for that refinery will be generated, because it's like it's a platform that generates electricity, so that there won't be any upsurge, power surge, and that will affect. So what the minister has said with that semantic is that okay, mechanically that refinery has been completed. So it is somewhat difficult for him now to be able to hold him on his wrist. So, because what they will just say is that they have just said that it's mechanically completed.
Instead of us speaking English, I just spoke with Mr. Fatunke. That refinery is not ready.
Of course, the refinery is not ready. You will see the refinery is ready, start production. The minister even said, confirmed that the refinery production from that refinery will not come until after Christmas. And when they start Christmas, after Christmas, until another Christmas 2024, you will still after Christmas. That is why one has to query the way they play politics with statements or political statements on business matters. Because fact of the matter is, if it is something that they are completed, why not tell Nigerians, okay, we have completed it, and these are the barrels that we are producing from this refinery. So with everything we have on the table, that refinery has not started production, confirmed by the minister. So the mechanical completion is dogotumenshi as far as production is concerned, as far as the reason for that rehabilitation of that refinery is concerned.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Adiola. That's just pretty much what I wanted to ask you. So, so the countdown still goes on for you.
Of course, it's still going on. In fact, a lot of commendation we are receiving in Platform Africa for that, and our own is just born out of patriotism. That decision to enlighten Nigeria, for everybody to know that what is happening truly, aside from what the government is saying. And the question that people have been asking that even if that refinery start producing today, will it be able to solve the issues that we are having? And the answer that I've been giving is that it will not, because if you look at that 60,000, if it cannot start production at optimum capacity from the start. But let's not even agree that it's producing at 60,000 barrels capacity, full capacity. It's just about 4.5 million liters of petrol.
That's about 4.5 million liters, per day. It's
about 4.5 liters of petrol. So for us in Platform Africa, our countdown continues until we see a liter of petrol produced from that asset, from that facility, in which $1.5 billion
investment. Yes. All right, thank you so much, Adiola, for finding time to join us on the show this evening. God bless you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, okay. Well, Adiola you've heard his voice. Just tell me what Mr. Fatu. Hello, good evening. Yeah, good evening.
This is Olaiwola.
Oh, Mr. Olaiwola, please.
I just want to speak about it. If you are talking about that refinery,
where are you calling from, Mr. Olaiwola?
I'm calling from Nigeria.
Okay.
If you are talking about that refinery,
yes.
Refinery has two aspects of it.
Yes.
One is mechanical, another one is power sector.
Yes.
If the refinery cannot supply, it cannot generate the power within ability, the power can be supplied from the external body. So it can start production. But where major work is the mechanically aspect of it. And that is what government pronounced that already done the major part of that
Mr. Olaiwola. We've had, again, just like Dangote refinery, it was commissioned even before and over in May.
Yes.
Where in December there's still a lot of back and forth. This refinery, the promise again, for us to play the record straight and count the cost, $1.5 billion was approved for this work, and the timeline was 18 months. Later it was shifted to December this year. And you've had experts in the oil and gas sector, Mr. 𝐾𝐿 Adeola, saying that look, what was said was that look, at least the old refinery, we're not even talking about the second one, which is even bigger. We're talking about the old one at 6,000 capacity. Why excite Nigerians about mechanical completion? Why can't the government, don't you think the government should just wait, complete also? Why do you think that announcement was very important?
You see the issue on ground.
Yes.
You know, most of the time, the information the government did not disclose in the public.
Okay.
If you government, the way you even see if you see the budget, the content of the budget have never been disclosed in the public, but we only know the figure. And the government have never told, they already set it time. It's just looking like Ibadan Express Road. You know how many budget that is going. It's no longer a budget, but it's become a national planning. As the way the thing is going, the major part of it is the mechanical aspect of it. They are already done with it. But let me end in that area. The other, let me go to the river state. Many people did not know the issue behind the river. Even the governor that is sitting down there, they know the person that is playing with. And that is why.
Who is the person he's playing with?
So he know his godfather that is playing with.
Is the godfather bigger than the state? Should the godfather be bigger than the state?
See, the constitution is there. Let me put it in this way. As you Anna, there is an information, we see it now, there is an information that is govern people within the office or within organization, and that one may not be a proper ethic that is govern you in terms of a professional.
All right, thank you, Mr. Aiwala, because of we spent almost about 5 minutes talking to you. But I understand where you're coming from. I'm just trying to, like, okay, well, 09136000410, 09136000410. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, sir.
Okay, my name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from the brother.
Okay, please go on, Emmanuel.
Okay, let me just be truthful. We let us miss well, because in Nigeria, when we know how to do well, is we like deceiving ourselves. This refinery talk, as far as I am concerned, this is just propaganda. Clearly, it is already. They just want to see, let them look at it, because they know they have. Nigerians are not happy with them. First of all, look at the Christmas. Look at it, it's Christmas. People are hungry. No money, nothing, no cash. The most people are, and so they don't want to throw, not like a child. You have it, and you just want to make the child smile, the child laugh. But that's what this one thing that they do on lies, propaganda. They will never tell the truth. This we are in December 24th. I was meant to Christmas. Next year, 2024, we will still be talking about this same matter. As long as by the time this is done with Nigerians, we know that there is a difference between 6.5 days. We never even know where we be.
All right. Thank you, Manuel. Mr. David does 09136000410. Well, we're just setting the record straight here on mainland 98.3 of Political Roundtable. And hello, good evening.
Good evening, Stafford.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Larry Bashir.
Yes, Larry Bashir.
Last week we discussed these two matters.
Of your radio set, you are getting this feedback. Yes, turn down the volume of your radio set or move away from it. Yes, you need to move away from your radio set completely. Move away from it. Turn it down or move away from it.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Is it clear?
Perfect now. Yes.
Yeah, we discussed this matter yesterday. This
last week. Yes.
This over the protocol finance. I said it. I said it will work. These people never told us that they are going to complete this technical phase 1 or phase 2 or phase whatever. From the report we have, this finance are 4 phases. The completed one, and the minister came out that the comparative phase 1 has been completed. I had that news. Just I had it. It has been even before you would discuss the matter on Sunday. I mean, after we have the matter on Sunday. Completed. Okay, let me go to later. They now told us that mechanical. No, these they are liars. There's no way people can tell me again that I will believe them. It's just these gullible Nigerians that whatever they are taught, they want to believe and they want to support them. This will not say they don't have anything to offer this country. We need to do away with people. These people
allow me to go why they are deceiving us. But I'm sorry that we are having this kind of discussion.
All right, thank you.
We shouldn't be having this kind of discussion. We should have done away with these people even before Buhari left. You know, I don't know why some people still have to go out for this man, who has nothing to offer this country. Who has to offer this thing? All
right, thank you.
I'm just trying to think of this rubbish.
All right, thank you.
I said they are liars.
Okay.
Not they do have to have this. They are liars.
Thank you, 𝐷𝐸. He said they're liars. But anyways, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was democratically elected and affirmed by the court, so he's still the president. So we have to, whether we like it or we have to still believe him and trust that, look, whatever he says will come to pass. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I don't know what first time calling.
Yeah, on the evening show. How you doing, Walter? Hi, Sulu.
Sorry. Dry Christmas. The dry Christmas.
Like always saying, we thank God for life.
Yes, that is it. That is it.
Yes.
On this show, yes, this refinery thing. Yes, I've heard the rumors that it was just knockout, Christmas knockout.
See light.
Gas flaring. Yes, gas flaring. People in the background with the viral video going around saying, thank God.
They don't quench out.
The light is going out and so on. You see, like your one of your presenters said, he said, why don't just come out and say the truth for God's sake? This is the phase one, the mechanical aspect is just being completed. Phase two, this is something will go on. Phase three, give us the timetable. Let Nigerians just follow the timetable. I mean, and this is where the final product will start commencing. You know?
I'm with you. Yes, I'm with you, Walter.
Yeah, exactly. The guy can say the truth. I just want to hear the truth. So this hide and seek game. We keep playing Nigerians. No? Another issue.
Fubara, yes.
I think I don't know what to say about Fubara. He should not come out to say that he's the elected governor of Rivers State. And the people of Rivers State have given him the mandate to lead them within the next 4 years. Trusted mandate. I don't think he knows where he's going to. He has to win the house of the people right now and push Mickey aside.
All right.
That is all. That is all the truth.
Thank you so much, Walter.
Thank you.
Enjoy your Christmas. Yes. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Yes, your name, sir.
My name is Salau.
Salau, where are you calling from, Salau?
I'm calling from Alagbado.
Okay, please go on, sir.
Okay, I beg. You see, I sympathize with this president, honestly. You know why? He is looking at 2027 like as if it is too far. As I'm talking to you, I'm a northerner. I'm from the northern part of Nigeria.
All right.
And if you look at the vote he got, about 90% of his vote came from the northern part of Nigeria.
Country, yes.
Now, his policy is completely hurting us. There is the north. So going forward, my people are farmers. We use fuel to run our generator, to water our rice. As I'm talking to you, fuel is 950 naira in my village.
In the north, far north, yeah.
No, that is in my own village.
Village, okay.
I'm from Lagos State. In the pump, it's about 700 naira. It's 680, 700.
For you to get to your village, you buy it now over 900 naira.
950 naira. And mostly we patronize black market. You understand? This is number one. Number two, you see, this Niger closing border of Niger is another factor that will definitely affect him. You don't know. You understand? But you know my annoyance. He's putting, he's making allies with the people that have the political value. Let me ask you, what Wiki will do for him in 2027? Can Wiki influence vote for him outside the rivers? Even the rivers look at it. You understand?
I'm with you.
So what You understand what I'm trying to tell you. So now look at it. Instead of him to cool down, to look for solution to see how we can calm down Nigeria to face governance, he's busy planning for 2027. Okay, forward. When you look at that of President Tinubu, nobody in his
Hello, Salau.
𝐿𝐴𝐺𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐢 that lost the election only was in 2019, 2023, and that person can give his vote in 2027? Absolutely no. Honestly, I could like to talk more, but
all right, thank you, Salau. I like your political permutations as to 2027. Thank you so much, Salau. Very important information you've shared with us, and the fact that look, a lot of northerners are not really happy. Their realities are not even a reality in the south.
That is true.
All right, thank you so much, Salah, for being a part of the show this evening. God bless you.
Wish you good. Thank you, sir.
09136000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, Mr. Olakunle, how are you doing?
Very well.
Compliments of the
same to you, sir.
Yes.
I think 𝐿𝐴𝐺𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐢 has used technicalities in the oil and gas place to kind of
bamboozle.
Bamboozle. That is the right word, to bamboozle us. And if I can remember vividly, in 2021, there was a timeline of 18, 24, and 44 months. You understand? So I think along the line we just felt so happy that we forgot to even ask those of us who knew that we had 60 BDP and 150 BDP in Port Harcourt to find out.
What are you talking about precisely? That we should ask. That's
what I'm saying. That in that same Port Harcourt we have 60 and 150.
150, yes.
But we failed to even ask him. Okay, are you talking about 60? Are you talking about 150? Because when you say the word completion means different things. When you say completion, does that mean that you will get crude out of it? So he's masterfully been able to play, and unfortunately those who are meant to question him failed to question him so that they will get the real reason out of him, and he's able to hide under that, and that is why we are. So for me, if I look at it from 1999 to date, I can still say to myself that at least we've kicked the can forward a bit. There's no more turnaround time. Why we continue to spend money? At least you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We have moved a bit forward. I can agree to an extent that yes, the bamboozle the story here and there. But at least going forward, we know better how to ask him real questions so that we know where we're going. The truth of the matter says that this refinery will be 2025. There's no doubt about it. Because what we are going to do on the other one will take you at least a year. So anybody thinking of anything less than 2025 to be able to break the ground to get out oil, probably we are just tricking ourselves. So we are still going to continue this long haul of importation. Then the little that Dangote can do and begin to prepare, because even supplying Dangote the 6 million in need per day
very difficult.
It's not sure because of what you have with OPEC and all of that. So, but at least we can see bit by bit we are moving closer, we are inching better. So Nigerians will continue to ask more questions. We'll get there.
So you are in 2025 timeline now. You are looking at 2025.
That is what it will be, because they are telling you now that this is what they are going to do. They are telling that the fourth quarter. That's what they are saying.
All right.
So it's going to be 2025. It's not going to be less than that. Or end of 2024, early 2025. That's why I said that, sir. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria.
Amen. God bless you too, Mr. Olakunle. We said 2025. Hello, good evening.
And God bless Mr. Fuad for coming off every day, every week.
All right. Wow. Good evening, Prince Wise. And compliments of the season, sir.
May God bless you and bless your management.
Yeah, before you talk, Prince Wise, let's just announce that again we are streaming the show on Facebook and YouTube, so you can always drop your comments on our Facebook and YouTube platform. All right, Prince Wise, please go on.
Number one, for the one for me, I'm not in love of this 𝐿𝐴𝐺𝐢𝐬𝐢. Because the man was there how many years now? And we forgot your own duty and you are supporting practice in investment.
the one you want to do, you are not. Even though I was thinking that Mr. Brown will just get this man to go. But if they tell him to go now, the statement of the North will be clear and what is the remove our man. That like the one person said now. You see, this man for me, he needs to be broke thoroughly. But if we hand over the minister now that said, you know, it's the minister that is telling Nigeria by December this will be ready, and maybe what the conductor told him was he telling Nigeria. But what I know at the end of the day, Port Harcourt refinery will come on board. The other will come on board. Because this present government must gear up to make sure all this refinery work. And I know it may not be this month, it may not be next month, but first quarter of 2024, Port Harcourt refinery will work. Not all, but the one they were talking about now, that's for the refinery. And for the Port Harcourt people, for me, I don't fight for politicians because majority of them are butter and bread politicians. They always go to where their bread is buttered. Now, the minister for work, the former governor of 𝐻𝐸𝐽 State, it's a PDP. It's not APC. It's a finished tenor and bureaucracy minister. Juicy portfolio for that matter. Look at Senate President. It's a former PDP. Now APC. Number 3 citizen of the country. So for me, what happened here? Number one, those 27 legislators, they should with the I'm telling you, once you reach a party, you must abandon their predictions, go and face your consequences. But I don't know why. Number two, the Mr. President, when you say politically, maybe they have already told him, the 𝐏𝐸𝐽𝐬 that this governor, maybe we shift over to APC tomorrow. We don't know. That I don't support. I don't support any party. But what I know is that if that governor is led for after signing this thing, it will mean the man is not competent to rule that state. He's not competent to be a governor because nobody put on your head.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
So let's round up.
All right.
The Clark.
Yes.
What are they been doing from day one to interfere with our matter? And the man now support with John Ido. You are the Pandef chairman, the whole United Delta chairman. What are you talking about? They want to interfere before it get to this stage. That's what.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Prince Wise. Let's just take some messages on our Facebook platform and then we'll return to taking phone calls. We have this message from 𝐶𝐼𝐬𝐧, that is Mr. Father Ebumi, and he's saying, I salute you, sir, Mr. Gallant Fuad. How was your morale for this beautiful evening? Well, morale is high. Sir, we really appreciate your able-minded and staff for Milan FM for your support and love. Everyone will continue to bless you. Okay, thank you so much. 𝐶𝐼𝐬𝐧 from Army Barracks 𝐼kẹjà Cantonment. I also have this message from Dayo Dada, and he's saying, good evening, Mr. Fuad. Compliment of the season. I greet you too. I want to give respect and regards to the new Dora Akunyili. A case study. She stand out as a patriot, brilliant mind, selfless, focused, driven. She's without fault or corrupt. Like a ruler, unlike the rulers in power now. Okay. I want to ask, what would your rulers be remembered for? Well, okay. Well, thank you so much, Dayo Dada. We also have 𝐏𝐸𝐽𝐬 Olonode who have saying, I believe this is the time to call Wike to order. Governor similarly Fubara should be allowed to concentrate on the issues of good governance to the people of Rivers State. Thank you so much, Mr. 𝐏𝐸𝐽𝐬 Olonode. We have this message from Akorede Alageshiwo Olanrewaju is saying, when subsidy removal was announced, there was so much tension everywhere. Government needed to douse the tension in the country at all costs. Thus, they brought in the gimmick of repairing those crap refinery. Okay, so it was to douse tension. So okay, on Rivers, if Governor Fubara can't get it right now, he should just forget about it. So therefore, please help us to beg PSCN, give us light. Oh well, I think that's one thing again that Nigerians are battling with at this time. It's total blackout. The power supply has been so bad. Although we've heard that there are repairs at Igni power plant and all of that, but honestly, the supply has been so bad. Not even at this festive season where people are home and hoping to have a very good holiday. So, appeal to PSCN, please not PACN now. We keep calling it IKDC, EKDC, whatever DC, the disco dancers. Please dance and give Nigerians light at this time. So you can still send your messages to our Facebook platform at Mainland 98.3 FM. We're also on YouTube. Of course, I'm sure read your messages. Let's go back to the king phone call 09136000410 09136000410 Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. Yes, we've been looking at three issues. We first looked at the situation in Rivers State. Barrister 𝐼𝐧 joined us via the phone line, and of course he had very strong opinions as to what is happening in Rivers State. Of course, we talked about 𝐷𝐢𝐻𝐺 𝐼𝐻𝐺 article, and of course the Port Harcourt refinery. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, all right. 09136000410 09136000410 is the line number to call. You can also still send your message to us on our Facebook platform. Be sure that I'm going to read the messages out. 09136000410. Yes, of course, Claudia Onolonde is still sending his messages that Mr. President intervention is just like window dressing, where tips could be still have means. Constitutionally against Fubara, he's saying the people of Rivers State should stand with their governor. Again, the number to call is 09136000410 09136000410 is the number to call. Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Fuad. How are you?
Good evening, sir.
How are you, sir? Coming off this meeting.
Same to you, sir.
Please, I have a different thing I wanted to talk to you about, sir.
Your name, sir. Your name first.
My name is Mr. 𝐻𝐺𝐻𝐺.
𝐻𝐻𝐺. Where are you calling from, Mr. 𝐻𝐻𝐺?
I'm calling from 𝐿𝐺.
Okay, please go on.
Please help us to appeal to Mr. President. I'm a federal civil servant.
Okay.
The president promised us of which I want to 35,000.
Yes, the 35,000. Have you not gotten it?
The only thing was in September.
So in October, November, nothing.
December, nothing. Even up to not collected salary for December. How is it Christmas?
So a federal civil servant, you have only collected the wage award in only September, October, November, December, nothing. You have not even collected December salary.
No, sir.
Okay, well, I'm sure the.
I believe 24. Christmas is tomorrow. There's only Monday and Tuesday.
The president is in Lagos, so let's hope that he's listening to us as we are saying this. And if he's not listening, we hope that people federal workers and the wage award has only come once. In September. All right. Yes. Thank you so much, Bishop 𝐻𝐺𝐻𝐺. God bless you too, and our compliments of the season. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening.
Yes, your name, sir?
You're Dikin Ogundele from Ijegun.
All right, Mr. Dikin Ogundele. Yes.
Let me appeal to Mr. President.
Yes.
On the issue of food security in Nigeria. That Yoruba say that it be pelebe more lejeko. Who are carrying animals give to their servants to go and graze. Let them stop killing the farmers. Dollar will continue to rule naira, and people are hungry because farmers cannot work. It is not possible. If farmers cannot work, there is nothing the government is doing. There are many people who do not belong in anywhere that they can benefit from the palliative they are talking about. There are thousands, even billions of people. They are the majority in Nigeria. They are vulnerable and they are not recognized. There is no how they can benefit them.
All right, thank you, Dikin Ogundele. That's a very direct appeal to the president, just like 𝐻𝐻𝐺𝐻 from 𝐿𝐺, who is a federal civil servant, and I said that look, the wage award, it was celebrated. Oh, wage award is going to come 35,000. The last time he got it, and as you know, other federal civil servants too, got it only once, and that was in September. October, November, it has not been paid. December salary, according to Omoshin, who says is a federal civil servant, they've not even collected December salary. So what kind of Christmas are they going to have? So again, a very passionate appeal to the president to look at generally the plight of workers, especially federal civil servant like Mr. Omoshin. Azul is maybe a low level officer, probably a middle level officer, and what kind of Christmas would he have? And then he has not finished his statement before Dikin Ogundele from the Ojegun also talked about food security. That look, he is also appealing to the president to please look into the challenges with food security in Nigeria. And he talked about stop killing the farmers. Let's ensure that farmers are able to go back to their farms and ensure food security. Nigerians are complaining. A bag of rice now has hit 60,000 naira plus. Granite oil, everything is extremely expensive, and I think Nigerians are not having the best of times celebrating the Christmas and holiday period. 09136000410. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, Peter from Agbado.
All right, Mr. Peter.
When the problem of the River State first started,
Yes.
Edwin Clark said Tinubu should intervene. That's what he said. So that's what. Tinubu intervene. So why are we now complaining? Render a political solution to the problem. So I don't know the reason why Nigeria are now complaining.
Mr. Peter, let's have this conversation. Yes, Paduka said he should intervene, but don't you think the intervention of the president should align with the dictates of the constitution and the spirit of the rule of law?
Of course, it's still the same thing.
Okay.
Yes, the court has not given judgment. It's just an injunction, yes. And then it has the two parties. There are these two parties. But are you aware? Problem can be solved.
Sorry, please. Are you aware that there are court pronouncements as to vacation of the seats of the defecting lawmakers? Are you aware?
It's just an injunction. It's just not a.
But are you also aware that that injunction or order has not been vacated? It is still subsisting as a court order.
Yes. So they can still win the case.
Yeah, they can still. So don't you think intervention of? I'm coming, sir. Don't you think the intervention of the president ordering the governor and telling those members to return to the house, most likely as APC lawmakers, not even PDP, they are not telling them to return, is at variance with the dictates of the constitution? Don't you think that should worry any Nigerian if we are practicing democracy true?
And that does not worry any Nigerian. This is a political solution to the problem.
Okay.
They went to the president. Then they went to the president. The president argued the case that this is the political solution to the problem. All the both parties should go and withdraw their case. So the impeachment also should be removed even from the table.
Oh, okay.
The real cause of this problem, is impeachment. And then the president said in number 2 that impeachment should be removed from the table. So Fubara also gained, from the presidential intervention. So I don't see the reason why all Nigerians now complaining that what they did was bad. No, it was a political problem. Then they argue it politically. It is because we are biased. Even you that were in the station, you are just feeling as if that you hated the president. Yes, of course. Okay. Even the way I used to listen to your program, I have never seen you where you support the president. You always hate him.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Peter. Well, some of the answers of the job, I was asking you very simple questions, and I thought that how would anybody hate the president? I don't know. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
My name is Sulaiman. I'm calling from K2.
All right, Sulaiman.
I'm listening to you. So I just called because of this last caller.
Okay.
You about to true or anyone at the same what I'm asking.
Don't make it personal, Sulaiman. Just speak to me.
No, I don't know when we will be able to tell ourselves simple truth. See, if you are okay this time around, don't just say that thing is okay. Look at the people around you, for God's sake. People are hungry. If you are able to eat 3 times a day, look at the people that they are struggling for one day food. Some people come in this station, if you hear the way they are talking, I think they are not in this country. Why are you doing all this to ourselves, for God's sake? Let us tell ourselves the truth. The country is not okay. Even if Tinubu is my direct brother, I'm supposed to be able to tell you now that my brother, thing is bad. This life is just very, in fact, it's just question of time. No matter how long we stay in this world, if you are not a Muslim, you'll be Christian. If you read your Quran or Bible very well, you know all these things that those our government are doing is nothing. At least they don't know what they are doing. They don't know fear of God.
That's okay. It's fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, right? All right. Good evening,
Mr. Fuad.
Good evening, sir. Your name, sir?
Please, Larry Bassey, just
yes, 1 minute. Yeah. All right.
Please, Clark, according to the caller before last.
Yes.
Ask Mr. President
to intervene. Yes.
What intervention? I said it last week. Mr. President should intervene, but not to that level. You have a minister that is causing problem, causing chaotic issues in the state. You have to call him to order. That was intervention. Not the rubbish that they went to go and do, the signing nonsense. And let me tell you.
Let's watch our words. We are ready.
Excuse me, please.
Yes.
This is what these people did. This is how they led Buhari to failure. They have started. They were the one that would still leave this man to failure. In fact, they have started studying. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Larry Bashir. All right. Let's take this call because I just wanted to make. Hello. Good evening.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Yes.
So, where are you, sir?
Your name, sir?
Sir, Uncle Fuad is my name. I'm calling you from Ojodu.
Okay, Mr. Wale, please go on, sir.
To remove lies, LIES from Nigeria, we are good to go. Our leaders from the time whose lies, deception, that is what is killing us. That is that, sir. When you are talking about president intervening after people have called, imagine what transpired between the rest of the went to Villa. I think that was given a paper to sign his resignation, undated resignation. What manner of presidential intervention is that, sir? Are we human beings? You are intervening, you are crippling the governor, giving more power to Wike again. What manner of intervention is that? Some people will come on air and begin to
everybody has a right to their opinion on radio, so let's just speak to the issue.
They do. But when they are talking about your right, when the majority are saying the truth, you have to mellow, you have to go and hide somewhere.
All right.
Yes. December is almost finishing, so we are waiting for our refinery, sir.
Mechanical work has been completed. It's okay.
Refinery work, forget.
All right, it's okay, Wally. I just wanted to tell Mr. Peter from Agbado that I'm not Mr. Omosheni who called him from Ijai, for example, who said that look, the 35,000 that was promised federal civil servant, he only received it once in September. He has not gotten it in October or November, neither has he even collected the December salary, and that is going to be a very terrible Christmas for them. So I'm not the one making that statement. And then of course Dikino Gundelewu also said, look, there's an appeal to the president, a direct appeal to the president that look, food security is a matter of national urgency at this time. We need to do something about it. I'm not the one who is saying it. As Nigerians, things are tough. A bag of rice has crossed the 60,000 naira mark. Things are extremely expensive. Insecurity is still at the highest. Even the former governor of Ekiti, 𝐉𝐨 had said that, look, Mr. President, move away from your comfort zone in the Aso Villa. Feel the pulse of the people. Listen to the people. The people around you may not be telling you the truth. It is not Said Fuad saying that, and I cannot aid my president. All right, so I think that's setting the records. Oh, well, we can no longer take any call again this evening, but I think we've had a brilliant show, from our conversation with Barrister Curtis Adiwa, calling from the United States, to Mr. Akinfatunke, our energy expert, and Adiola Yusuf, also our energy expert, who also delved in on the issue off the Port Harcourt refinery. And of course, our callers from Kayode in Abeokuta to Austin in Ojo, Laiwola in Ijayi, Emmanuel in Egbeda, Larry Bashir in K2, Walter from Surulere, Salau from Alagbado, Olakunle from Ojodu, Omosheni from Ijayi, Dikin Ogululu from Ijegun, Peter from Agbado, Sulaimon from K2, and now the last call for the evening, Wale from Ojodu, and every other person that sent in a message from our Facebook platform. I think we've had a very brilliant show. I wish every one of you out there a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. This is Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. Let's do this again next week.
In your market become more and more crowded. It's time to break it open and really stand out. Broken Air is here
on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.